Hey everyone, this is Doug. Today I want to put together a video of putting together a sample pack for remixing. This is something I've had a lot of positive feedback on my end, and I just wanted to share my process with this. I've received, when I'm doing remixes, kind of a wide array of different types of packaging, how everything's organized. So I kind of want to show you what's worked best for me and what I like to receive. And I like doing a lot of remixes, and this is kind of what works well for me coming in my stuff. The video will be a little bit long, but I'm going to kind of walk you through each and every step here. So this song we're working with here is my track Haze, which came out on Prognosis late last year. And it's got a good amount of different tracks to work with, some different things that I think will be pertinent to this topic. So to start off, excuse me, I have things set up how I like it, usually percussion, bass, mid-range, treble, then ear candy, sweeps, and things. So starting off with percussion. Generic percussion and kicks, I usually tend to exclude from my remix packs because I think that's something that any remixer is going to want to use their own. Getting a kind of a character, oops, sorry about that. Getting that characteristic kick sound is going to be important to each individual person. So right off the bat, I'm going to just delete my kick group. Now on to generic percussion. So let's loop this for listening purposes and kind of go through these. Very generic. That can go. That can go. That's got a little bit of a unique kind of characteristic sound, but I don't think it's anything that would really be missed. I think if I was going to save any of the percussion, it'd probably be this one, just due to that kind of high claves ping. I think that could be something that you would recognize from the entire mix. But the rest of it, for remixing purposes, I think I'd get rid of, and just kind of, that's a generic snare roll, so we can cut that. All this can go. That can go. So now with this, usually I like to try to work in 16 bar blocks, or however long it needs to be to get the entire musical idea down. So if you have something that takes 32 bars to develop the full musical idea, you'd want to use that. But for this, I'm going to use just 16 bars. I'll take that all the way to the beginning, and I will go ahead and cut the rest. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one. And this, I believe, it's just the deep bass accent. So we'll just take that one 16 bar clip and work back to there. So for something like this, you don't need the full 16 bars, but it's just a good chunk to work with. Next one. Okay, just the generic, the full bass line. We'll take 16 bars of that, pull it back to the beginning, and cut the rest. Okay, next up we have, okay, that in, cut the rest. Next up, okay, just going through trying to decide if it's something that is worth including or not. There could be some sounds that aren't really characteristic of this specific track that I just wouldn't put in there. Okay, 16 bars of that. And just a little plucking sound. Include that in there. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this synth here. Got a couple different things going on in here. So first off, in the EQ. Got this with an envelope, gradually dropping the EQ down from excluding the low end to including the low end. For this, I'd probably just turn it off completely. Somebody can throw that filter back in if they want it. Now with this one, it's actually using the Dune filter cutoff in here. Give it kind of a different sound. What I'd probably do with this one is duplicate it and give 16 bars of dry, 16 bars of wet. So we'll take this out and put this back. So now I have 16 bars of this sound and 16 bars of this sound. And if somebody wants to do that same transition between the dry and the wet, you can just run two at the same time and put a volume fader coming in and going out to get very similar effect. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so that's just delayed versions of this. Someone could put that together themselves if they wanted to. We'll cut that out. The next one, I believe this one is vocals. So something specific with Ableton, I'm not sure if this works with other workstations. You want to ungroup your tracks if it's not going to mess with anything significant you have going on with effects routing that you want to include. Reason being is it's going to render the group and the individual track. You don't need to do that twice. So this is both vocals. One is affected, one is not. I'm just going to delete one of those. And just to make it easier for me, there's 16 bars of each of these clips. Instead of having to render out something separately, I'm going to duplicate it and just make it two different tracks. So I have 16 bars of this first section and 16 bars of the second section. So now I have this first one here. And the second part. Okay. Now going down through the next part, these are just generic sweeps. So we just have some long sweeps. Drop noises. Those I'm going to cut. There's really no reason for me to include these kind of very basic sweeps. This next one, we have these sounds are a little bit different. I'm going to put them in. So I'll put one of them right at the beginning and one of them 8 bars in. Okay, next up we have, that's probably just a clap or a snare sound. Okay, we'll leave that in. That's something that's not just an everyday noise. Okay, we have here a drone. Okay, put that in there. I want the drone sound. And I think these are some synth accents. Yep, okay. And then the last one, I think is just white noise. Yes. Okay. Don't need white noise. We can cut that out. Okay. So I have 15 tracks here that I'm going to include. I think that's plenty for a remix pack. What I'm going to go through now is look for any kind of volume envelopes and get rid of them. You don't need any kind of volume fading in and out unless it's something very characteristic to your sound of that specific instrument. Loop this. Okay. So do I want the delay and reverb and everything on here? That sounds fine. There. Okay. Good. Play is fine there. Yep. On that one, Okay. Play and reverb here. Oh, okay. So those are shaped that way intentionally. I'm going to leave them there. Same for the reverb. Yep. Okay. This, okay, we'll cut out that envelope. It can stay the same the whole time. Okay, so now you see when I'm playing this. Oh, solo off. Okay, so this is my pre-master volume. Everything has plenty of headroom for mastering. What I like to do when I'm giving stems is to select everything and bump them all back up to their default volume. So now when it's played, it's going to be a lot louder. But these are going to be at an appropriate volume where you won't have to throw utility on it and boost the gain if you're receiving it in the stems package. You can have everything ready to adjust and tweak in your own workstation there. So next up, I'm going to rename everything. So as I'm working, I tend not to name tracks, but I will do it here. So I'm going to bump the volume down quite a bit right now, just so it's not as loud. And go through and just name it all. So the percussion 1 here. And will be bass accents. Let's give it a nice good description. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just so you have something to recognize the track. Mid-range stabs. So just delayed mids. Played chords. I think this is the plink sound. Yep. Plink. Okay, so we'll do synth melody wet, synth melody dry. Okay. Vocal 1 and 2. Oops. Fingers clicking the wrong thing all over the place. All right, I got some ears, I think. Let's see what we got. Yep. Lasers. Mid-range accents. Drone. The mid chords. Okay, so now I have all different names for the tracks. And as far as when you're rendering, so export, whenever you're putting something for pre-master purposes, use your 448K and 32-bit. So they'd be appropriate for something to send off to your mastering engine. I think that's about it. Also, when you send off your package, include the BPM and the key in the title. So in this folder, I would title it Hayes Stems 124 BPM, and I think it's in the key of C minor. C minor. So I just include all that information right off the bat, so it's present. It's easy to pop right in, throw it in the right BPM, and get to work. Hope this has been helpful, and let me know what you think.